Honestly, I am all for like people should travel solo, and I honestly support everyone who wants to travel solo. But also for those people who want to travel solo and maybe it's their first time and they're only just thinking about it. I wanted to make this video and I saw this trend of I think the trend goes like things I would tell you about solo traveling if I was not afraid to hurt your feelings. And I was just like, okay, you know what? This is actually a good idea. So this is actually a trend going all over social media. And I was also like, okay, I have some advice or kind of like things that I would want to say about solo traveling, especially for someone who's only just thinking about solo traveling and is also kind of like in the process of seeing if it works for them or not. So, here is my list of things I would want to say about solo traveling if I did not want to hurt your feelings. And obviously, I feel like this is not really hardcore hurt your feelings, but I also kind of just like that title. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Anyways, I think like the first thing I would definitely say is you have to be comfortable with yourself if you ever think about solo traveling. I'm telling you, if you are ever sitting down and you're thinking of like, oh, I want to travel solo one day, you definitely have to be very comfortable with being yourself, with being by yourself, with doing things by yourself, with just being you. And I feel like that can be really simple to say, but I know for a lot of people it might not be easy to just kind of, just do you. But as a solo traveler, that's really, really crucial because a lot of the time you're traveling solo, you're literally on your own. And I feel like even if you want or you don't want, you will always have those times where you have to be alone. You will go out and eat by yourself. And imagine you're in a new space, you're in a new country, and you're there solo, you don't know anyone. And it's even more important for you to even be more into yourself that way. Like, you just have to be a person who enjoys your own company, a person who is happy to just be alone, a person who is not afraid to also be looked at strangely or like be looked at weird. For some countries, like they might even be like, oh, are you solo? Like, why are you not with someone? Why do you not have a boyfriend? Or why do you not have someone with you? Why are you traveling solo as a woman? There's always those questions. And as someone who literally just want to do that because you want to, like, you just feel like there's not a need to do it with someone, I definitely want you to be able to stand up for yourself and just be like, actually, I just wanted it to do it. I just wanted to do it solo, and here I am. Like, it should just be that simple. For a lot of people, they don't get it, but I feel like for someone who's interested in solo traveling, you really should stand on your ground and be like, I wanted to be here solo. I'm here solo, and you really just have to believe in yourself to just do everything solo because at the end of the day, that's really what's good it's gonna take. You just have to be comfortable to be by yourself, to be you, to be in your like everything by yourself. And I'm just like, that is the most important thing. Just, yeah. The second one would be to also be open. Just in the topic of being by yourself, there's also a lot of opportunities to meet new people and to be in new environments. Like, if you're someone who is really into comfort zone, like you just want to be in your comfort zone, you just want to speak the language that you know, you just don't want to interact with other people, or like you just don't want to, you want to interact with them, but you also don't want to go out of your comfort zone like that, I definitely would tell you like solo traveling is not for you if you're not open minded. No, it's not. It's not for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not. I don't know where I've heard that, but honestly, solo traveling is not for you if you're someone who just want to be in your comfort zone, who is not open to new experiences, who is not open to meeting new people, someone who literally is just like, nah, I gotta do this and I gotta be done by my way. Like, you gotta be done my way, or it's gonna be this and it's gonna be done this way. Like, if you're someone like that, solo traveling is really not for you because there's a lot of situations where you won't even plan for them, but they will happen, and you're just gonna have to be open to those experiences, either good or bad. But I hope they're all good. But I definitely want you to just be open to everything that can come your way. And honestly, solo traveling really does get you out of there. Because if you're with someone, you can just feel like, oh, I can rely on my friend, I can rely on my mom, I can rely on my dad, I can rely on my brother. But you're in this new country, it's 2 a.m. and something happens. Hopefully it's something not that big of a deal, but it's something that happens and it settled you. So now you have to deal it on your own. How are you going to deal with it? So be able to just accept that you're going to have to be out of your comfort zone, and just accept that you have to actually just be open to everything that can come your way. Okay. Next, it's gonna be you have to be open to learning things. And I feel like this is a bit different, because different to the second point, because this point is literally just learning about new things, as in like the language, the food, the culture, and everything. And again, if you're not someone who is interested in learning about new countries, in learning about new cultures, in learning about new food, in learning about these people you're going to visit, or this country you're going to visit, you should never. I just feel like for me, you just don't have anything to show up for. Because if you're going to a country expecting it to be the same as your country, like, make it make sense. You're in Australia and you're going to the Philippines and you're expecting the Philippines to cater to you like how Australia caters to you. Just it just doesn't make sense. So I feel like for me, you have to be open to learning the culture of the country you're going to. You have to be open to learning the languages of the country you're going to. You have to be open to, like, just be open in general to a lot of things that can be new to you. And again, if you're not someone who is interested in all of this, solo traveling is really 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 not for you. Because I feel like even just not solo traveling in general, traveling in general is not for you if you're not someone who is open to learning about new culture, or is if you're not someone who is open to also want to be interested in the country that you're going to. It just doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me, guys. That will never make sense to me. So if you're someone who is interested in traveling solo, and honestly, if I'm to give you advice on literally what that, like, about solo traveling, and I really don't want to hurt your feelings, that's just what I would want to say. Like, please don't travel if you're not someone who is open to new cultures and new countries and new people that you're gonna be meeting. Just don't do it. Period. Just stop. Don't do it. The next point is solo traveling can be on a budget, and solo traveling can also be luxury traveling, but you should always go with your comfort zone. This point, I know I said you should not always stuck in your comfort zone, but there's some things that just requires you to be in your comfort zone. If you're someone who prefers to be in your own bed, if you're someone who prefers to have your own whatever, like, you just want this thing to be done this way. Let's say, like, you want your bed to be done this way, or you want your room to be done this way, or you're that kind of person who does not want to travel with like sleeping with other people, like hostels where there's shared room. I want you to be able to just be open to taking your own space. So this means, like, if you're not interested in hostels or like shared rooms hostels, don't do them. And even if I'm as someone who travels solo, and I will always advise someone, like, oh, you want to meet friends, always go on a hostel, always go stay in hostels. I'm also someone who's gonna advise you do not have to stay in hostels, especially shared room hostels. But what you can do, you can literally, if you want to stay in hostels and just experience the hostel life, because I trust me, as someone who's experienced hotel and someone who's experienced hostels, I'm gonna tell you there's such a big difference, and it's very easy to spot the difference, because hostels offers you a whole lot more, especially as a solo traveler, compared to hotels. So if you're someone who is interested in, you want to have your own bed, you want to have your own comfort room, you want to have your own um you just want to have your own comfort, like comfort space, or you just want to have your own space, I definitely urge you to just go with what you want. For a lot of people who travel solo, I know a lot of creators also, they will tell you like, go stay in hostels, go share rooms with other people, it's so cheap, it's everything, it's everything. And yes, as much as it's cheap, it's not a lie, it's not, it's cheap. And yes, it's also, it has its own good. I feel like every experience has its own good and bad, but honestly, I will say this is especially to someone who's interested in traveling solo and this is their first time, and I really really don't want to hurt your feelings. You don't always have to follow what you see. We can say as content creators or like someone who's experienced solo travel, I will come to you and tell you, do hostels, go to hostels, do this and this and this. But if that is not something you're interested in, please 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 follow your heart, follow your gut, and always do what's best for you. Another point I wanted to make was actually, don't always do what you see online. So what I mean is like, some places that you see online, they're really not worth your time. I swear I have visited some touristy places that are considered touristy and I've loved them so much, and I'm like, okay, I get why they're touristy. And a lot of places, honestly, they are really touristy for a reason. Like, people talk about them for a reason. People know about them for a reason. But also, that should not be your only reason why you want to go there. You going there should only be because you actually are interested about that place. You actually are interested about exploring whatever that place offers. You also just be interested in, seeing what the hype is. Like, I feel like there's so many reasons why someone would want to visit places where everybody is talking about. There's so many reasons why. And I feel like for a person who travels solo, first of all, you have the freedom to do whatever you want. And that is the beauty of solo traveling. And that is literally one of the biggest reasons why I always push for solo travel, because the amount of freedom you have to just be able to do whatever you want, when you wake up, when you sleep, when you do this, when you do that. Like, the freedom is just too much. And I feel like just because TikTok tells you to go to this place and you're not feeling it, you should not feel the pressure to be like, oh, I need to go there because this creator said this, or like everybody on TikTok is saying about this. Honestly, like, it's really 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 that simple to just ignore those places. I have been in a lot of places, actually, in the Philippines. There were a lot of experiences that I did not get to do only because I did not feel like doing them. And one of the biggest one, which everybody praises, and I'm so sure that experience is really good, because I have done similar experience. When I was in Vietnam, I did a similar experience to the one that is offered in the Philippines. And honestly, I'm so sure the experience is good. But when I was in the Philippines, there was not a moment where I ever woke up and I was like, oh, I wish I could do that experience. Like, never. I never had those moments. And I feel like for you as well, it should not be something that you're forcing yourself to do just because you see it being done online. Like, I just feel like for a lot of things, again, you're solo traveling. Please, 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 just do what you're interested in. And I hope that when someone is hearing this, it's just kind of like something that is to remind you. It's not really telling you. I am not here to tell you what to do and what not to do. But I also just want to be here as a reminder that, you don't always have to do everything that TikTok says you should do in this one place. If you visit the Philippines and they tell you, oh, you have to do this expedition, you have to do this island hopping, and you have to do this and this and this and this and this, you shouldn't kill yourself just to be able to do all these things, especially, and this is talking to people especially who are not even interested in doing all these things. Like, you're just not interested in them. Please skip them. You can actually do that. You have the freedom to just skip them. I've seen a lot of people who are just like, oh, I did this experience because they told me, or like someone talked about it, but I was not even like gonna go, or like I was not gonna do it. I was not. Then why did you do it? Like, why did you do it? I know. I'm just like, guys, come on now. Like, at this point, I feel like when you're traveling solo, you're really mature enough to be able to make those decisions for yourself, because you're in a whole new country. And social media is one thing, but you are also one thing. Social media love one thing, you also love one thing. It does not mean you always have to follow what's going on and what's the trend and everything. Honestly, I just hope this tip is also helpful, because I actually saw this tip somewhere and I was like, that's actually a really good tip, because I've seen a lot of people do things they're not even interested in, they don't even love, they don't even want to, but because they see other people doing them and now they also feel the need to actually do them. And I'm just like, guys, come on, come on, come on. And another tip, you're away from home when you're traveling. When you're solo traveling, you're away from home. Let's say maybe you're actually internationally traveling, and I'm talking to people who are internationally traveling, because this is a whole lot different. You're away from home and you're free to do whatever you want, but also always be careful of everything you do. And I feel like for a lot of people, I've met a lot of people who've literally gotten themselves in trouble, mainly because they literally just did not think before actually doing what they wanted to do. And because they're away from home, they're like, oh, my parents can't see me, or my mom can't see me, my dad can't see me, or like the people that know me, my auntie or my brother can't see me, so I can do whatever I want. And as much as that is true, please always be careful, because you're away from home, a lot of things can happen from there, and maybe you don't even know anyone. And I just feel like, to be safe, you always just have to be taking care of yourself. You always have to be very, very conscious of the people you come friends with and everyone that you try to connect with. When we travel, we meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, and it's really easy to just kind of be fascinated by what someone does, or like how someone says something or how someone does something. And instead of you actually analyzing that thing they're doing, you might just, because you're fascinated by it, you might only just like start copying it. And instead of asking, okay, why do you even do this, or like how do you do this, or what's the reason behind this, you don't even ask all of that, and then you start picking up these habits of someone else. And now, instead of you choosing to be someone who you want to be, you're now choosing to be someone else is. And I feel like that can really be scary. And if you're like someone younger than me and I really wanted to give you advice about solo traveling, I would definitely tell you, like, be careful of the people you become friends with, be careful of the environment you put yourself in. This can be literally about everything in life. Honestly, this can even be about advice that you hear from someone. Like, analyze it, sit down with the advice, and also think about it, like, okay, why is this person saying this, what is this person from, what did they do, where this person comes from. Like, think about all those things, and I feel like this can actually save you a lot of stress and a lot of drama when you come to your solo trip. So these are some tips that I really wanted to touch on, especially as someone who loves traveling, as someone who loves seeing people travel, someone who is just interested in everything traveling. And if you're also someone who is interested in traveling, I hope that these advices can help. And of course, as I said, it was off on a topic on social media, and I just love the topic. And I was like, okay, let me put my 2 cents on this, because I honestly love sharing everything about solo traveling. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.